Hi traders, welcome back to my channel. Today, just doing a quick look at the market, a really quick market overview, probably going to be like less than 10 minutes today because there are only two pairs that I'm really looking at for next week. So obviously, not recommending that you trade Fridays or take these entries today. But we'll see going into next week if this does play out. So the first pair I'm looking at is gold. I know we've been looking at this quite a bit, and I did say we had a possible buy opportunity here on gold. And something really interesting to note, we did have a break of this zone and price almost came back down to retest it here. Let me just zoom in a bit. And now we have some really strong momentum going towards this 4-hour zone. So these are both 4-hour zones. Let me get the 8 EMA off because we're not day trading this. I'm going to leave the 50 because this is just giving us a confirmation that we are very bullish right now. We can see that that 50 EMA has been completely broken and price doesn't appear to be slowing at all. Now, one thing to note right off the bat is that on Fridays, the market can be really volatile and show us some kind of false information in terms of our technical analysis. So we just want to be careful. This could easily be due to fundamentals at play, right? Where it is Friday. However, going into next week, what I'm going to be looking at is a complete break of this zone, okay, which it appears to be attempting to do now. And if you want some kind of extra confirmation or you don't like trading the break, gold does tend to retest. So it's very likely we'll get a little retest here of that zone. So you can either trade at the break or the retest there. It just depends on how you want to trade it. If a little tip for you, if you're new to trading and you're not very good at looking for breakouts and when to actually trade the break, if you do plot the 8 EMA, especially on the lower time frames like the 15-minute time frame, I'm just going to plot it back here. Okay, let's go and put 8 in here. There we go. Okay, so when we plot the 8 EMA, EMAs can act as dynamic support and resistance. Okay, essentially that means when you get a break or a retest, you can trade them like support and resistance areas. So if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, I'll try not to go too quickly. And I'll zoom in here. Okay, so if we go down to the 15-minute time frame, you really want to look at how price is reacting to that 8 EMA, okay? The second thing to note is how far the distance between our 50, which is the underlying one there, they're kind of the same color. Let me change this and make it, we'll do purple. Okay, so take note of how the distance is increasing between the purple line here and the blue line, or that teal sort of line. That's showing us that we have really, really strong momentum, okay? So coming out of this zone, that's what I would look for to continue. If these start to close coming out of this zone, that's telling me that we're seeing some indecision and that this could be a false break. So really what you want to happen here is to get like a nice long-bodied candle that actually closes above here. We can see this guy attempted to, but it didn't close, okay? It's not closing above. It's just kind of testing up out of there. I would really wait for a nice long-bodied candle like this, wait for the close. It's best to do on the 4-hour, but if you're a day trader, you're probably not going to want to wait for a 4-hour candle to close, especially if we have that strong momentum. And that's what I'd be looking to trade the break out of this gold zone. Keep in mind that it does tend to retest, so don't use too tight of a stop loss. Make sure your stop loss isn't too tight when you're doing things like this. I guess I should, I'll put this in the description anyway. Guys, these are just my opinions. So like, I'm not giving you trading advice by any means. This is just what I'm looking at. My own personal opinions, how I would do things. So just keep that in mind. Like, you should always do your own analysis and use proper risk management. I just have to put a little disclaimer in there. That goes with anything I put out though. Really, like, I'm just sharing with you guys how I do it. If you don't like the way I do it, you certainly don't need to use it. And if you have your own methods that work for you, I'm not telling you that they're wrong. So going back to our 4-hour chart, let's just look at a possible target, okay? I'm just going to zoom out. I know it's hard to see when I zoom out, but just to zoom out really quick and remove these EMAs so everything's nice and clean. This is a really well-tested area right here. If we were to take a horizontal line and just touch off of the majority of the wicks that are passing through here, we can see there were many of them, right? So this would be a possible target. Our next target, and you can keep riding up to each additional zone, all right? You guys know I like to zone things in, so I would not leave that as a line. I would actually take this whole area and box it in, and that's where I'd be looking to take profit. So around the 1970 area, that's what I would be looking for. Of course, you should always trail your stop, and especially when you're looking at a really large target like that, trail your stop and don't keep your stop loss too tight initially. Like I said, gold tends to retest areas of significance. Next, I wanted to look at UJ. So UJ, I know I'm zoomed out for now. I will zoom in when we get into the lower time frames here. But UJ right now, we can see that we have been bullish, right? For some time, that's quite evident here. Let's say since September 21st, we saw that initial push off of this major reversal area. Really interesting if you go back and look around September, I did point out this major reversal area. That's why it's actually in here. So if you've been following along, you could have caught a really, really great entry there. We've also broken through this second level of significance. These are 4-hour zones, okay? My 4-hour zones are always blue. And we're getting a nice pullback now. Again, this is likely due to fundamentals. So I don't pay too much attention to what's happening on Fridays. But I'm certainly going to take note of what area we're pulling back to, okay? So if we were to get a break, because this is such a significant area, and I've checked this level with you guys in previous videos, we know this is a significant zone. I'm going to pull this out. If we were to get a break below here, I'm going to use my arrow. If we were to get a break below there, and just so you guys can see, this is around the 105.4 area, okay? Just so you know roughly where I'm looking at. We could be seeing a continuation of this higher time frame downtrend. You can see that higher time frame downtrend right here, right? And I'm really roughly drawing that in. I hate working with trend lines. However, if we get a retest of this area, and be careful with UJ when you're looking at retest opportunities because it's so volatile, you'll also often see slippage, kind of like what we saw here. So it doesn't perfectly retest a zone like, say, gold often does or USD CAD often does. You'll see what we call slippage at certain areas, mostly due to the fact that there's so many fundamentals, and there's quite a bit of broker manipulation with this pair as well. So just bear that in mind, but watch how she reacts to this 4-hour zone. So if we do see, a lot of rejection, I would wait for a break above this area, okay, a full break, long-bodied candle, and take back up to that area we've already tested here around like 106-ish, okay? So that's what I would be looking at. Sorry, guys, my phone's going on. And really, that's it. Nothing super interesting. Let me zoom you in, though, and we will plot our EMAs. So something I'll always do when I'm analyzing a pair is plot my 200 EMA. So, and I should have did this for you on gold, too. I had already done it, but it's okay. Plot the 200 EMA. I'm going to leave it blue because I'm not plotting anything else. And this is really going to give you an idea, especially let's switch to the daily really quick. This 200 EMA is a really good indication of our overall direction. So we can see that we've been under this daily 200 EMA for quite some time now. And we're still beneath that. So it wouldn't shock me then if we did get a break below that significant 4-hour zone to continue on downward. Okay. So this was like a nice little kind of pullback. gave us some nice buy opportunities, but it very well could be finished. So that's what I'm looking to see. So only trade what you see. Don't ever try to anticipate where the market is going. I only ever trade based on what I know it's presently doing. So that's kind of like my 2 cents here. I'm going to zoom this in. If you guys want to screenshot anything, you certainly can. Hopefully that's big enough for you. I would love to see a break of that zone. That would be a really great opportunity to ride back down to our major reversal area. But we'll see how Monday plays out. This could just be, Friday volatility. So keeping all that in mind, please pay attention to my videos next week. I'll try to get 3 up next week. I meant to have 3 this week, but I think I only got 2. So yeah, we'll try for 3 next week. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video.